Well, my next guest is the vice chairman of the world's largest money manager, that is BlackRock. He is Bob Dahl, and in his most recent note, he says that although the outlook for equity markets remains uncertain, he expects the bull market rally to resume eventually. And Bob, looking at what has happened this morning in the equity markets, you still believe we are going to see a bull market rally?
I surely do. After the correction is over, we're clearly in corrective territory. We have more wood to chop there. Europe has to stabilize. The euro is, I think, the best place to look there. We need further evidence of cyclical improvement here in the U.S. and a little less volatility. And when we get those things, we believe the cyclical bull market will resume. That's going to take some time.
That's a long list, Bob.
There are three things. Yes, absolutely. That's typical.
Okay. All right. Well, then, if we close, Bob, at the lows that we seem to be indicating in the futures, is that going to be enough of a correction? I think that's about 10% from the peak we saw in April.
Yeah, I think from a price standpoint, we're most of the way through. We may have to break the lows of Friday a couple of weeks ago, which we're getting close to on the futures now. And I think we have some repair work to do. We've done some damage in this correction, and we need to repair that before we can go higher again. But
Bob, back in mid-April, I know that you were out, again, of course, talking. You're always talking to journalists like us. But I know back in mid-April you had said, look, you think you should go. You still recommended being overweight risky assets. The problems in Greece were going on at that time, not as bad as we've seen in the last several weeks or so. Do you think that you discounted the Greece situation just a bit too much?
Yeah, I think, like most, we underestimated the severity of the potential contagion, and that's what's weighing on markets now. Will the problems in Greece and more broadly Southern Europe and Europe in general derail global cyclical recovery? That's the issue that investors are wrestling with. That's the bet one has to make, and my bet is that we're not derailing cyclical recovery. Maybe we're denting it a bit, but this cyclical recovery is not over.
And when we do get that recovery, Bob, what do you expect? A rebound as quick as we've tumbled, or do you think it's going to be much more slow and steady?
I think it will take some time to consolidate the problem that we've had. So we may go sidewise for a while before we emerge in the market to the upside, and the strength will depend on the strength of the recovery. How strong will earnings be? If the last couple of quarters are indication, the answer is very strong. But we'll have to see what the impact of the higher dollar, the European economic weakness weighs on global investors.